Alright, sweet, so I'm live. Just light on. Okay. I've had this thought in the back of my a while. Well, one, I haven't been live in a while. It's not my thing. Second of all, I've my foot. Chemical burn, and I look like I've been like practically at home the last couple of weeks. It's driving me insane. So I've not been getting any sun. Need a haircut. Look at my foot. So, you're one of these dudes that interfere. There you go. So I'm gonna do this. So that's what I've had in the back of my mind. Yeah, just I want to do it, but it's scheduling, so this probably just be random. Um, some water. I look really pale, don't I? Anyway, okay, so oh. So it's just I don't want to be one of those gospel things. So I want to start from the book of Daniel, chapter 5. Mispronounce a lot of words, but let me try. Um, so the book of Daniel, chapter 5. One night, King Belshazzar invited 1,000 nobles to a great banquet, and they drank wine together. While they were drinking, Belshazzar gave orders to bring gold and silver cups and bowls to his father. Never to carry off to them. So sorry. To the temple in Jerusalem. The king sent for them, and his noblemen and his wives and concubines could drink out of them. And once the gold cups and bowls were brought in, they drank wine out of them. Those gods made of gold and silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. Suddenly, a human hand appeared and began writing on the plaster. The palace wore the lamps shining brightly. Human hand. And the king saw the hand was writing. And he turned pale, and it was so his knees began to shake. He shouted to bring in the magicians, wizards, and astrologers. There you go. When they came in, anyone who come reading this writing, and tell me what it means. It will be dressed in royal purple, wear a gold chain and honor around his neck. Be the third in power in the kingdom. The royal advisors came forward, but none of them could read the writing and tell the king what it meant. In his distress, King Belshazzar grew even and his noblemen had no idea what to do. Heard the noise by the king and his noblemen to the banquet hall. They said, "May your majesty live forever." Be disturbed and look so pale. There was the man in your king whose spirit of the holy gods in him. When your father was king, he showed good sense, knowledge, and wisdom like the wisdom of the gods. And your father made chiefs of fortune tellers, magicians. His unusual ability is wise, skillful in interpreting dreams, solving riddles, explaining said to this man Daniel, whom king named Belshazzar, and said, "We'll tell you what this all means." Disclosure: I cannot read out loud. I hate it. Um, so this is verse 13. Itchy. Brought once to the king's presence, and the king said to him, "Are you Daniel, exile whom my father had brought from here from Judea? I heard that you had the spirit of the holy gods, and that you're skillful and have knowledge and wisdom. Advisors and magicians were brought in to read this writing. Tell me what it means. Cover the meaning. Now they've heard behind hidden meanings, explain mysteries. If you can read this writing and tell me what it means, you'll be a royal purple, wear gold chains, and honor around your neck, third power and kingdom. Daniel replied, keep your gifts for yourself and give them to somebody else. I will read your majesty that has been written and tell you what it means. The supreme God made Father Nebuchadnezzar. I'm not going to read that name. I'm so sorry. King gave dignity and majesty. A time about it reading. It was the night that people of all nations, races, and languages were afraid of him and trembled. If he wanted to kill somebody, he did. If he wanted to keep someone, he did. He wanted to disgrace anyone he wanted to, but because he was so proud and stubborn and cruel, he was removed from his royal throne and lost his. It was reading. He was driven away from society, and his mind became like an animal. He lived on old donkeys, ate grass like a cow, and slept in the open air with nothing but food. Finally, he admitted that the supreme God controls all human kingdoms and give them anyone he chooses. But his son had not humbled himself. Even though you knew this, you acted against the Lord in heaven and brought up spells, take from the temple. You, your noblemen, your wives, your concubines, drank wine out of them and praised gods made out of gold and silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. God cannot see or hear and do not know anything. But you didn't know the God determines whether you live or die. He controls everything that you do. That that is why God has sent the hand to write these words. Seems a bit contradicting there. But it was written number, weight, divisions. This is what it means, number. God numbered the days of the kingdom and brought into their own end. Weight you have been weighed on scales and found it to be too light. Divisions is divided by given to Medes and Persians. Immediately, Balthasar ordered the servants to dress Daniel robe in royal purple, hang a chain around his neck, and he was made the third in power of the kingdom. That same night, Balthasar, the king of Babylonia, was killed. The Mede, he was then 62, seized power. That's a trip. Oh, far out. Sorry out loud. Can't pronounce his names. Book of Daniel. I can't. Ezekiel. They're all freaking trips, man. Like this is what Bible. Good news Bible. So, guys, but I cannot read out loud. Darius decided to appoint 120 governors to hold office throughout his empire. In addition, he chose Daniel to be supervised governors and look after the king's interests. Daniel soon showed that he could do better work than the other supervised governors. Because he was outstanding, the king considered putting him in charge of the whole empire. Then other supervisors and governors tried to find the way Daniel administrated the empire. But then Daniel said he I won't do anything or dishonest. We are not going to accuse Daniel unless something was connected with his religion. So they went, oh gosh, I can't, struggling to keep going. King Darius, your majesty, live forever. All of us all who administer the empire, the supervisors, the governors, and the lieutenant governors, and other have agreed your majesty should issue an order enforce it strictly. Give orders for 30 days that no one's permitted to request anything from the god, human being except your majesty. Anyone who violates this order is to be or filled with lions. So that your majesty order and sign it. Before the Lord of Median and Persians, it cannot be charged. So when King Darius signed the order, when Daniel learned about the order, he been signed, went home and upstairs in his house. And there were windows faced towards Jerusalem. There, just as it had always been done, he knelt down and opened the window to God 3 times a day. When Daniel observed him praying, all of them came together to the king and accused Daniel. They said, Your Majesty, you signed the order for the next 30 days. Has anyone who requested anything from any god or human being except you thrown into the pit of fire with the lions? The king replied, Yes, that is a strict order. The law of Medes and Persians cannot be changed. He said to the king, Daniel, one in Judea does not respect your majesty or obey your order which issued regular 3 times a day. When the king heard this, he was upset. He did his best to find some way to rescue Daniel, but he kept trying until the sunset. Daniel came back. Your majesty knows that according to the law of and Persians, no order can be issued and changed. The king gave order to be arrested and thrown into the pit filled with lions. So said to Daniel, Your God, whom you serve so long, will rescue you. Step his mouth and of the pit. And the king placed his own royal seal, the seal of his noble in the stone, so that no one could rescue. Then the king returned to the palace, a sleepless night without food or any form of entertainment. The king, gosh, just reading it out loud, it's a nightmare. Daniel answered, May your majesty live forever. The angel shut his mouth with the lions, so they would not hurt me. He did this because he knew they was innocent and because I you, your majesty. The king was overjoyed and gave orders to be put of the pit. I guess he liked them. Put him out of the orders. Okay, I'm sorry. Can't read it out loud. I'm really bad at reading it out loud. So I'll try that again and a few more times, but yeah, guys. Anyways, Psalms 119, 170. Listen to my prayer. Save me according to your promise. I will always praise you because you teach me your laws. I was singing about your law just because, man, so, I've got nothing out of those verses. Okay, look, you provide all you need. The wicked wouldn't always rule over the land of righteous. If they did the right, they might do evil. So, I hate reading the Bible out loud. I can't stand it. I'm not mispronouncing so much. My accent's horrible. But I'm a beard, but slowly but anyway, look at my hair. That's enough.